Hello guys, today I planning to review the A6M1 in Tier 4 games in World of Warplane. This plane is unlocked from A5M, as you can see from the second frame of this plane, and when you unlock this plane you will have a stuck condition of this kind. The experience and the cost of the plane is added to the video. When you buy this plane, the stuck mode of this plane is like this. You have a engine of 780 horsepower with the air-cooled engine, 277.7mm machine gun with high rate of fire, and 220mm cannon. I recommend you, if you plan to upgrade this plane, first go for the top engine because it's very useful for this plane. After that, the upgrade of frame. This way you have more chance to do a turn fighting and lose less energy. And the last thing is the upgrade of the 20mm cannon, because it have a little drawback in turn fighting. Not much, but very little, but still, if you have an advantage in the stick mode, it will be better to not load that gun. The range of this gun is 600 meters with the 130 damage. I recommend you to fire this gun from 400 or less, and don't recommend you for going to the 600 meters because the chance of hitting is lower thanks to the 1.9 mechanical damage mechanic. And if you want to shoot with your machine gun and both of them, machine gun and the cannon, I recommend you to fire in less than 300 meters in the close combat. If I want to speak about the condition of this plane and what you will have against the other planes, is this plane is a low altitude plane, as you can see, 900 meters. In front of, for example, the P-36 in Tier 4 American fighter, you have 1,500 meters altitude for best altitude for dogfighting. This plane wasn't designed for high altitude dogfight, and I recommend you to always keep that in mind. Also, the speed of this plane is not high, as you can see, 432 kilometers per hour in the top, in the elite condition, and 480 in the best altitude, and for dive is 530. As this example, I can show you another plane like F2A. This have a 460 kilometers in sea level, 540 kilometers in the best altitude, and 610 in the dive speed. This shows you that this plane in the same matchmaking or higher one shouldn't be used for a boom and zoom or hit and run, and instead you should always keep this plane in the best condition for turn fighting and force the enemy to come at you and lose the energy. What you normally see in Tier 4 against the Russian 1I60 early version, you have a better chance in airspeed and maneuvering, I-70 maneuvering, and other planes also, most of them is maneuvering. Okay, another example, this time with Tier 3. As you can see, the plane in Tier 3 have a more advantage in turn fighting against the Zero. Against Tier 2, you should use this plane for hit and run and never should do a turn fighting. Here comes the first example of doing the right thing with the Zero. It's true that the Zero is a very best turn fighter, but against lower tire, it have an advantage of speed, not a turn fighting, and you should always keep that in mind. As you can see, I am doing the right move by doing a turn fight with that F3F. We have the same altitude 900 meters, but he have a better advantage in turn fighting. After I check out his states, I find out that it's better to dive down and make a space with the dive speed. And also I'm trying to go to the my AA to break off. As you can see, this way you have more chance to fight. And as you can see, I'm not trying to turn around, because if I turn around, he will kill me very easily. And if you don't have a teammate, you are in worse condition. You can't run away anymore, sadly. And I'm finished. First lesson: never try to turn fight with the lower tire. Instead, use your speed at the max and try to force them to do a dive or hard turn to lose their speed. As you can see, against all of kind of plane beside the Kai-43 from Chinese line, you have an advantage in turn fighting, and also you are best at low altitude. These are the I-16 early version also. And the best point of this plane is to turn fight with anyone in the low altitude and force them to come down instead of letting them go high. This is the best example of the speed you will see in turn fighting. As you can see, the best speed for turn fighting with this plane is 260 at the max. But as I told you before, you should always fight in the 300 or more in the middle tire or higher to have an advantage over enemy. The stall speed of this plane is around 190 kilometers, but you should never go down to 250 in the worst condition, because if you are going so low, they are easy target for all of the enemy plane. Here comes. As you can see, this plane is very good for turning around and destroy the aiming of the enemy. But if you dive down, you should never go after them. Instead, you should better cover your teammates, the one who try to turn fight and try to destroy your teammates' aim, as you can see. I'm going after BF-109, try to clear my teammate tail. They are both going over 500 kilometers and I'm maximum speed is 480. If they start fighting with me, you have a 100 chance to kill them without any problem. About the gun of this plane is, I should point out that this gun is the 20mm cannon overheat very easily, and when you're trying to fire, you should keep that in mind. If your target is out of your aim sight, you should never fire and let your gun cool down to use it later. The I-16 have a better turning rate against me in the low altitude, and I should never try to turn fighting with him in the low altitude. And he is also the worst enemy for me if I don't finish him. Okay, going for the next target. I don't think there is much of plane left in this game. In this map is very high in altitude, and for zero is a disadvantage if you don't be careful. I'm waiting for a target to come down and then going after them. I see that they are going after my BF-110. No, it's a P-38, sorry. I use the chance when they didn't look at me, I start shooting at them. The F2A coming at me, but I'm using the dive to turn hard and fast also. As you can see, I'm out of my altitude range, and even though I'm keeping my speed in the best altitude, in the best light of green, I can still outturn him. But the time when I go to the green line and also keeping my speed in the high line of the light green, I can turn very fast and can outturn F2A. These things that you should always keep in mind, that you should always turn fight in your best speed in near 280 or higher to outturn all of the enemy plane, and also always careful to not losing too much speed. As you can see, I'm not shooting non-stop to let my 200mm cannon also cool down. And he finished. As you can see, I'm trying to make a close contact with the enemy and shoot all of my gun before they overheat. I'm not staying at the enemy guarded aircraft because the radar gunner can finish this plane very easily if you stay too much, unlike the other plane. This plane wasn't good for going after guarded aircraft for too long. This is also a good example of how much climb rate you will have. I normally do this to gain altitude very fast. This plane doesn't have a much of problem to gaining the average speed. That's why I normally let him to go to a stall to gain as much as altitude as I can. You see that? It already reached the 300 kilometers per hour that I need. And here comes my first target. Someone firing at me from behind, but I still focus on my first target. As you can see, the plane can't go faster than 500 kilometers. I don't recommend you to go to that speed because this plane is very hard to control at that speed. I'm still focusing on the multi-role fighter. He's on fire and he's dead. I recommend you to never go for head-on and avoid the enemy. That Benemet know that he can break off very easily. As you can see, he's going passing 500 meters and make a space enough to going out of my range. Because of that, I changed my target fast. I'm going after I-16 because he will be very scary for all of my teammates. That wasn't good for large dogfight. He's the most important target I should focus. No one coming after me. As you can see, the maneuvering and not having the aim assist give you hard time to fire at the enemy with 20mm cannon. I'm changing target again and not focusing on one target. The best option you should always do is finding a target around you or a target that attaching your teammates. This way you can focus on him without worry that he will turn around very fast, like this. He's focusing on my grenade aircraft and I'm finishing very fast. The BF-110 coming and I turn very hard to go outside of his aiming. This is the best tactic if you have a speed, and I recommend you to always do that. Do a very long turning around his circle of aiming. He's trying to go for a AA trap and I turn around because I don't want to lose HP because of AA. Here comes the next game. I'm going after the BF-110 that's trying to dive attach my teammates. He's going so fast I'm break off so don't going in there my teammates fire and give him more chance to damage him. Instead I'm going after the next target that is high a lot, the enemy A6M1. Someone also fired at me from behind, but I'm focusing on him. I try to finish him before he ran away, and I finish him. Now he's firing at me. You can see him, he probably break off, probably I-16. That I-16 knows that if I pass him, he can turn very fast, and that's why he tried to destroy my aim. He ran away, I didn't turn around much and tried to make a space as much as possible. You see that? The I-16 turned very fast. If I try to turn fire with him, I will lose in this condition, especially because I am in very low altitude. This way I run away from the I-16. I'm trying to help my BF-110, but later see that he finished him. Trying to gain altitude. This is an important role to use and also give you more advantage in turn fighting later. Here comes. I'm over the enemy AA and trying to finish that I-16 to not give me chance to damage my teammate. I turn very hard and going out of my aiming. I turn hard and lose my energy instead. Trying to gain altitude and going for head on again. As you can see, he's going inside my plane to not let me much of chance to fire at him. I'm trying to break off and he's finished. In this game I'm trying to keep my speed and altitude as best as possible. This map is low altitude and because most of the enemy will be higher than me, it will be hard for me to go after them. I should wait for them to come down. I also don't attach the plane that's so low because I don't want to lose all of my energy so fast. As you can see, I am trying to finish that BF-110 first, but he ran away very fast, and I'm not going for high altitude because I know that he's trying to stall me and then turn around and finish me very fast. Because if you are in the stall, you can't recover very fast and you will stuck in the air for some second. There's someone firing at me. And also BF-110 is firing at me. He used the chance to damage me. I used the chance to damage him. Sorry. Someone fired at me from behind. I'm using my chance to fire at him before I'm going to stall. There's AR-18 attaching me. He's better in high altitude than me, but he's one tire lower. That BF-1 trying to attach me again, but I'm turning inside him and don't let him have much of time to fire at me. When a heavy fighter coming too low, it's very easy to damage him because he have a less energy and also gain speed very slowly. He's trying to gain altitude again and run away from me, but he can't do that anymore because he's out of energy. I'm trying to finish him before anything else. Okay, come on. 10 and I should do that first, cooling my engine. I'm back to the hangar and I forgot to point out one thing, the consumable and equipment. For consumable, I recommend to always carry manual fire extinguisher, control surface trim and pneumatic restarter. It's useful for the random battle. In the competition, I can recommend something else for now. I need to see what the competition will look like. For equipment, I normally go with these three: engine tuning 2, improve reflector sight, and improve radiator. If you want to have a more advantage, I recommend you to use aircraft polish and have a higher speed instead of the improved reflector sight. And if you want to have a more advantage in term fighting, use the control surface adjustment and lightweight airframe instead of the improved radiator and engine tuning. It gives you a lot of advantage in turn fighting over a lot of enemy and more chance to face the lower tire. I hope this this information will be useful for you guys, and I will happy to hear your comment and feedback. Good luck in the game.